Oh, Team Jorge. I don't think people understand how the connection between Passover, which again, pass over to the next whatever. It's all about death. It's all about it's a ritual, a blood spilling ritual. Where if you pay attention and you look, Israel spills more blood during Passover every year than any other time. It's always the beginning of something, or something extreme happens during Passover. And this year was no exception. And I told you guys for months, like it's not even a prediction that I can take any sort of pride in, because it's pattern recognition. It's not. That's generally what all of it is. But this is pattern recognition. And if you look back at every single year during Passover, especially in the last 5 years plus, I don't know if it's more than that, but the amount of blood spilled during Passover is significant. And this year, on the last day of Passover, Israel violated the ceasefire that had been trying to be brokered forever. And instead of attacking Gaza, they bring war to Lebanon. 100 strikes in 10 minutes. 100 strikes in 10 minutes. Remember when they claimed that Hamas hit Israel 5,000 times in 20 minutes on October 7th? There's no footage of it. But 100 times in a 10-minute period. It's fucking crazy. Against the people who are, supposedly not involved and have nothing to do with Hamas and all that shit. Oh boy, howdy, boy, howdy. Oh, it's tweaker again. Yep, I'm tweaking. So we're saying meth, huh? Yeah. Again, other than piece of shit friars, who's gonna do that? Who's gonna start with that, of all things? You're gonna start with that? Like that's again. I understand that you can't actually make reasonable arguments. I get how limited you are. I don't think you do, or at least you acknowledge it, but you're guilty of all of the things I talk about, and you can't argue against it. And then you have dumbass Christians, of course, the dumbass pedophile supporting Christians. Like, it's really strange when you understand that it's all pedophilia. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, they all have their foundations, their base is in pedophilia. It's shocking. It's fucking shocking, but it's what it is. I didn't realize just how bad the Muslim version was, but it's fucking bad. Oh, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, oh, your penis butter got away. Oh, I mean, again, like this, like you guys are gross. Dead zombie? What the fuck do I care about some zombie bullshit for? It's fascinating. It's also fascinating because you're all so stupid. You know, you all believe in something that you can't even have a conversation about. You can't defend it. You can't explain it. You can't explain why you're this way. You can't debunk any of the competition. You know, none of it. You're just stupid. And then you get mad at somebody for calling you stupid. But I just don't know. You know, you would say the same thing about anybody else that was like, oh, well, I just believe this for no reason. I can't give you a reason. So you just deleting my chat because I literally defended it. Yeah, I'm deleting your chats. Did you see me deleting your chats in real time? You saw me look down and see something you said and then delete it, or are you just crying? I would imagine you're crying, right? But I know for a fact that YouTube isn't letting you be stupid, but the one time you actually try to debunk or defend or whatever, that's what got removed. Sure it didn't. Hold on a second. Oh, Jesus. Pedophile Joe's here. The lion pedophile's here. Yep, I'm insane. Yeah, I'm a lion coward who hides behind a fake profile and hides who I am. Where's the Guy Williams Sucks video? We have is the rabbi going to come through today? The fake rabbi character from yesterday? And don't say I'm not worth it. You're not worth me making the video. Right, I'm worth you sitting here for hours every day begging for my attention. Gotcha. Everybody acknowledge Joe. He wants to be acknowledged. He's a fucking pedophile. That dude believes in raping kids. He thinks it's the proper way to do things. It's religious purity and shit. This guy is a fucking monster. They all really are, but you know, Joe has gone to great lengths to try to defend it and then bribe me into not talking about it. He was willing to bribe me, or at least he was willing to lie about bribing me because, you know, he's a friar and all they do is lie. So you can't really blame them, though. I mean, their entire belief structure is based in lies. It's not a real story. You know, their entire cult is based on Exodus. And Exodus is impossible. Nobody with any sort of reasonable ability to you know, comprehend things thinks Exodus is a viable story. Yeah, you're gonna jerk off. Yeah, that makes sense. You're a fucking friar, right? Yeah. Well, I can't drive and do anything. I can't drive and have conversation. I'm not driving. I have a driver, you dumbass. But hey, cry about everything but what I'm talking about. That's usually a good sign as to who you are, you fucking friar. What's up, Snug? Todd God. He's that guy. I wonder how many Jewish girls I actually fooled around with growing up. You know, they were all over the place. Makes you wonder. Didn't really know shit back then. So, like nowadays, I wouldn't do it. Right? If I found out a broad was a friar, I'd be like, ew, you're disgusting. But back then, I didn't know. The plagues of Egypt have been historically proven. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. The Egyptian history doesn't account for the plagues at all, especially not one where the firstborn was killed. Oh my God, you're so stupid. I can't believe you just said that. No, it's all fake. It's all fake bullshit. The entire Bible is fake bullshit that only exists in the Bible. The sources outside of the Bible are supposedly two statements written on something, two statements that were presented by, in some capacity. The Christ was crucified or some shit like that. And then another one is a rock, a piece of a rock that has like a little bit of scripture on it. And they go, well, see, that's the proof. It's fucking silly. No wars from Buddhism. That's very true. Though the cultures that practice Buddhism are pretty awful. And Buddhism is pretty stupid when you break it all down and you start looking into what's his name, Siddhartha, and all that shit. Like it's the same stupid story. It's just a different version. Instead of actually fact checking, he just says fake because he doesn't want to believe. No, I didn't just say fake. I actually gave you an explanation that no, it doesn't exist in Egyptian lore. Nobody talks about a stupid ass, like especially the Passover. What most people don't understand is that the story of Passover, it has to do with Exodus, and it has to, like Exodus again being the dumbest story ever. The Egyptians don't have an account of 2 million friars being slaves, and then it's all just fake bullshit. And it's how they operate. I mean, their whole thing is fake. People don't understand. Friarism is fake. It was probably invented around the 1850s or so. Somewhere's around there. Can you shut TS man up? No, nobody can. And again, isn't it weird that there's all these strange people that are just stumbling across my page and want me to stop talking? Why don't you just, fuck off? Wouldn't you just fucking off solve your problem? Free America from the Israeli friar, grasp, for sure. If you can't figure out what I mean by friars, you don't belong here. You're too stupid. I get it, though. I totally get it. You're stupid. You believe in Jesus. Whatever stupid thing that they've got you with, I'm not surprised. Free Palestine, indeed, but Free Palestine is just, unfortunately, Free Palestine is the thing they allow us to say. Okay. Because, you're not going to say Free Palestine to Libya or to Lebanon. You're not going to say Free Palestine to Iran, yet they all have the same enemy. And unfortunately, most of us will be like, oh, Israel doesn't exist either. Israel is just a construct. They tell us Israel exists, so we go, okay, Israel exists. That's it. That's it. It's just a place. It's like when they say Hollywood used to be really racist and shit. Yeah, well, the same people control Hollywood. It's not Hollywood, the place, that was racist, that was sexist, that was homophobic, that was all the nasty. It's the same people that are committing genocide, that think, raping children is an act of God. that practice soul correction every 2 weeks. Soul correction being where they stand in a circle naked. The adults are in a big circle naked, and in the center of the circle is a group of children who are also naked, and they rape them. It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up, man. And this is part of their whole spiel. This is you know, it has to do with the Talmud. And the Talmud, you know, if a goyim rapes a child, then they should be put to death immediately. But if a friar rapes a child, as long as if the child is less than 3 years and 1 day, then it's like it didn't happen. It's like a poke in the eye is what the Talmud says. It's equivalent to a poke in the eye, and nothing is to be done. If the child is 3 years and 1 day and older, now the rapist is responsible for paying the full dowry, which could be 50 shekels or 100 dinars. It just depends on what the hell they're talking about, what time frame you're in. But if the child is, and then once they pay for the child, they now own the child, somewhere in between a slave and a wife. However, if the child is 12 years and 1 day old and is already betrothed, because that's what they do. At 12 years and 1 day, they betroth the girls to adult men. Usually it's adult men. Just ask Rabbi Shmuley. His parents are the quintessential example of this. But at 12, once the kid is betrothed, if they get assaulted, now the violator is in charge. They're responsible for paying double the dowry. It's a double dowry. So it'd be 100 shekels or 200 dinars. And that's all. That's the only difference. The victim still belongs and blah, blah, blah. Not to mention the whole point of Jesus, he was the forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. Jesus was a friar. The main character of your narrative was a friar. It is a friar fairy tale. No shit. It's fucking stupid. Alright? You're a fucking moron if you believe that shit. What's up, Karen? Recording. Nice. This guy talks as if he knows as something. He knows now. Again, isn't it funny how they always do these sort of like goofy ass crybaby comments? Look, these are the ICE detention centers that they built around here. These are all ICE detention centers. These huge buildings that were built again as ICE detention centers. But I love how these guys always say, you know, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Da, da, da. Why don't you address anything I'm saying then? Tell me what I'm getting wrong. Right? FPH remix. That's funny. Like, this is what you guys do. I'm wrong, but you can't actually say how or why I'm wrong or what I'm wrong about. But I'm wrong, and I'm a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He said things I don't like. These goyim aren't supposed to know these things. These goyim aren't supposed to point these things out. Why does this goyim keep pointing all these things out? He's not supposed to say these things. Yup, on crack, yup. Again, you guys honestly think it's real people that are doing this? It's real people that are like, hey, this is the guy that thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the friars. I'm going to troll him. You guys really think that? ICE is great, of course. We have racists on here, yes. Racist white folk. Who's surprised? If you're watching, like, share, sub.
Trump is back on TV trial. But where are the Epstein tapes? Oh yeah, Diddy's gone completely wild. But where are the Epstein tapes?
Yes, wood chipper's not good enough, actually. They need to be, so as a society, we need to understand that there are really awful people out there who like hurting people. And those people are going to, you know, those people are going to exist. They're going to hurt people no matter what we do or want or anything like that. So if those people are exist, we need to account for them. Here, enjoy some music for 2 seconds.
Display so much amusement from telling us their truth. Then they say we need improvement when we rebel against their proof. But when we delve into the roots, we see the dye they use to mold, the hell they use to spoof us into soldiers to be told, the orders we behold as truth to be self-evident. But the more that we expose, the more useless that the president and all his goofy residents look to Goyim eyes. Their ruse is so irrelevant, their crooked, stupid lies are like bookends to disguise both sides of their illusion. These crooks who send their prize hide their true intrusion, hooked into our lives while compromising movement. They're cooking up the white, yet denying they still use it to supply the shitty music so the goy can sing along. The grand rising so elusive, it's annoying just how wrong we are in knowing we belong to such depravity is gross, like drinking water from a bong, or like how gravity's a hoax, since we all know different strokes make different people happy. The show we're shown only shows that ignorance we're masking is the last laugh, and they're laughing at the masses they've been smashing on the path to everlasting control of what we think. The classes that they're passing with the math they use while bashing the staff who they've been asking for the trolls to shut and bring the fold our lucky ring or whatever else we need for our golden touch to sting the selfish pricks who we believe help but they deceive, bleeding the goyim dry. The wealth that comes when we succeed is fleeting if we try to have a meeting in the sky with a god that doesn't.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, baby. Ooh, baby. Baby. Oh, we lost everybody. Oh, how surprising. I shouldn't have gone and checked this thing out.
That's made of clearly cheap materials, complete with a typical
your fault story.
Our serial defeat
ends with our Goyim glory.
Trump is back on TV trial.
But where are the Epstein tapes?
Oh yeah, Diddy's gone completely wild.
But where are the Epstein tapes?
Israel's so disgustingly vile.
But where are the Epstein tapes?
They have you chasing your tail.
Meanwhile,
where are the friggin' Epstein tapes? ISIS hit Russia in typical style. But where are the Epstein tapes? The boat hit the bridge and fell into a pile. But
the problem is,
tapes?
YouTube tells me who you are, and I know who you are, and I just...
Where are the friggin' Epstein tapes?
This guy is so full of himself. He sits there listening to his terrible blah, 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 blah. I'm so full of myself that I know you'll keep watching me every fucking day begging for my attention. And because you're too stupid to understand how YouTube works, I can't play anybody else's music. I know that's what you're trying, hoping for, so then it shuts the feed down. But we're not trying to shut the feed down, are we? You don't even know who you are. Yes, I don't even know who I am. I know I'm not a piece of shit friar or a friar supporter, which means I'm firmly against pedophilia. Can you say the same thing? No. And of course, you always have the dumbasses that They're not capable.
Are you ready for another conspiracy theory?
Right? They're not capable of actually having any sort of intelligent conversation. So they just start spitting out dumb shit. Jesus loves you. Jesus is the Jesus. And Jesus. You can't think past your stupid Jewish fairy tales. And that's literally all it is. It's a Jewish fairy tale to promote and maintain control. If you think it's not, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what your reasoning is. Yes, somebody says you are the problem. I am the problem. It's not the pedophile Matitza Pepe cult that runs the world. It's not the Trumps. It's not, it's not all that. It's me. I'm the problem. Obviously, I'm a big issue to them. They're obviously really scared of me. If you look at what's happening on this feed, you've never seen anything like this before. That should be enough to make you sort of go, wait a minute, maybe I should share this. This is the feed that they are terrified of. Do something! I am. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies. What the fuck are you talking about? Isn't it weird how Christians can't speak English? Like, as soon as you start asking them to elaborate even a little bit on what they have to say, they start speaking another language. Right? They start like, well, Jesus is the Son and the like what the fuck are you talking about? Can't you just answer simple questions? Can't you just have a simple conversation? How people don't like you, yet they spend all their time in here watching you. Don't you think that's strange? It doesn't sound very believable, does it? It sounds like actually an operation. It sounds like Act.il and Team Jorge. But that's because I know things, and knowing things makes you stupid.
All the way up to the president.
Oh, now we're actually saying Wigga.
Something so irrelevant they just
how come you guys are saying all of this shit, but you're not addressing what I'm saying? Just like the fact that you're here, but you hate me so much. Every day, same profiles, every day, like they've been assigned to be here, Act.il style, trying to get points. And yet, again, not only are they here, they never address anything said. Never. Right? It's fucking crazy. It's like, it just, if Jesus was real, if God was real, if that was the truth, how come they can't do a better job with it? It's not like it's the new thing. It's not like they just haven't had a chance to get there yet. And by the way, if you're a person of color, you're a Mexican, you're a black person, whatever, and you believe in Jesus, you're insane. Look, all the garbage is just buried underneath the rug, and that makes it go away, right? They just sweep it under the rug. Interesting, huh? Jesus isn't God. Jesus isn't real. Have you ever had your hair cut? Nope, never. I've been growing my hair this way since I was, for 47 fucking years, and this is as long as it is. I've never had a haircut. Jesus is God, dumbass. I think maybe you should see a doctor. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're back to needing the doctor. Mental issues. It's a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia if you don't accept their supremacy and the fact that they rape their own children. Again, notice how nobody's actually addressing what's being said. Apparently, they can see things in video, so they're watching the video. They respond to certain things. They pick and choose. But man, they just can't seem to find anything I'm actually wrong about. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? All you fucking dumb sheep, man. How come your Jesus hasn't provided you with a better foundation? With more intelligence to be able to handle simple questions? Like, we're not talking about, you know, rocket surgery here. We're talking about pretty simple shit. This is what happens, man. If I'm wrong, why does it work this way? This isn't how it works on other people's channels. If you watch the other, you know, other truthers, there's elements of this, but they usually try to address what's being said. They don't want to talk about anything I'm saying, because nobody wants to debate your wrongful sayings that have already been proven against. Like what? Why don't you pick something? See, again, it's like, man, those blanket statements only work so long. You know, eventually people are going to start waking up to the fact that you have nothing to say. Yep, I'm totally tweaking. Yeah, that's why I'm so fat, right? Big fat tweaker. And of course, people need to understand, Joe is a pedophile. Joe is an admitted friar who has tried to bribe me to stop talking about this stuff. What sort of credibility do you think Joe has? Right? He doesn't think it's sad that friars rape children. He doesn't think Matitza is sad. He doesn't think soul correction is sad. He doesn't think the false Holocaust narrative is sad. He thinks that me tweaking is sad. And if I'm tweaking, shouldn't I be compromised? Shouldn't you guys be able to, shouldn't I not be able to keep a train of thought and all that? But shouldn't you guys be able to just crush me? I'm so compromised by the drugs that I'm on. Yep, talk to myself. That's what I'm doing. It's so funny when these Christians, there's a difference. Like, the Christians at least attempt. They'll say dumb shit. The friars, it's all just obfuscation. It's all ad hominem. It's not ad hominem, Mahominic, I'm demonic. Rabbi Shmuley is such a dumb piece of shit. And of course, again, you know, just so you guys know, his parents are 10 years old, 10 years apart. His father is 10 years older than his mother, which is very, very commonplace in their shit. She had Shmuley, the youngest of 5 kids, when she was 24, and that was after they had taken a break from having kids. So that would mean the next oldest is at least, you know, she was at the most 21 when she had that kid, but maybe even younger. You know, they took a break. If you account for, you know, the 10 months that pregnancy actually is, and you sort of just do some math there, you're at least talking about 8 years. If you said you tried to say it was, you know, they had a kid every 2 years, they couldn't have, but if you said they did, that's still 8 years. It's closer to 3, right? It's closer to 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. So now you're talking about, if she was 21 when she had Shmuley, that means she was 12 years old when she was betrothed, and 13 when she started popping out babies with her husband that was 10 years older than her. Right? Oh, jeez. Open the Bible, all the answers. See, this is what I mean. It's like Christians start speaking another language. They can't actually address anything said. They don't even know their own shit. They really don't even know their own Bible. And you know, this is the shit they'll come with. Dribbling before. Now I'm dribbling. Yep. Again, are you guys claiming to be Christians or friars? Which good, better than me, God-fearing person are you? You know, you shit talkers who can't actually engage in the discussion and who keep name calling and talking shit. Are you the good Christian or the good friar? Which one is it? Yep, God. You know, if God loves me and God answers, listen, I want nothing from your piece of shit God. Nothing. If your God really does hear prayers, I would hate to think that the one prayer out of a million that he's going to answer would be for me. So if you actually believe that prayer is anything legitimate, then by all means, only pray that the clergy of all people stops raping children, because they can't seem to stop doing that. I would hate to think that the one prayer God answered for you was about me. Like, that would be like, you know, comparatively, that's just horrendous. No. Stop your fucking church from raping children all the time, please. Oh, somebody just lost their car. They just got this shit. Ooh, going to jail. If you actually believe that it's no God, then why wouldn't you just uninstall? The devil is in this world. The devil that God lets be here. God could just dinkle-dinkle-dink that devil on out of here. But instead, God lets the devil come through here and cause so much hardship and pedophilia and you know, all that, because he's a good God, good loving God. You're so stupid, it's unreal. You're so stupid, you don't just have imaginary friends, you have imaginary enemies. The devil. Oh, it's the devil. The devil did it. Oh, yeah. I hope you seek help. Again, says the friar. Now we have potential now I'm brainwashed by Iran. Again, come on, you dumb friar. Tell us what I'm brainwashed about. You see this? You see this dumb shit? Now we're so desperate, we're bringing Iran into it. Just because Iran is the good guy in the conflict doesn't mean anything has come my way from Iran. But this is what they do. Like, again, instead of answering simple questions, instead of addressing what I said, this dumbass literally said, I hope you seek help, pray hands. You had potential as a human, but you were brainwashed by Iran, shaking my head, crying emoji. But he's just so far gone at this point, sad face emoji, sad story. That guy puts all that effort in, but won't address anything that's being said. Won't actually say what I'm wrong about or anything like that. Don't you think that's a little strange? Don't you think that's just a little weird? Why don't you just address what's being said, you fucking weirdo micro penis coward? These micro penises, man, they're fucking weird. But again, they think that, you know, because they have a micro penis, when they rape a child, it's the equivalent of a poke in the eye. Or are you going to say that the Talmud doesn't say that? Please, somebody tell me how the Talmud doesn't say that. I literally scrolled away and this stream came back up. Sure it did. Sure it did. So now YouTube is pushing this stream on people. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? If you're watching, like, share, sub. I can explain why these guys are here in a way that actually makes sense. Or you're going to believe that YouTube is just sharing the stream of the guy who consistently talks bad about Israel and the friars and thinks we should kill pedophiles. Does that sound like YouTube? That sound like YouTube? All these pieces of shit? You're telling me that doesn't sound a lot more like act.il? I know most of you don't know about act.io, and that's on purpose. But that's what I'm here for. Because act.il is a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content, quote, such as the boycott, divestments, and sanction movement. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room for pro-Israel experts. Pay attention to this wording. Act.il directed its users to missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond, which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. You're crazy. This guy's on drugs. I'm so sad. Notice how they don't actually address what's being said, because that's not how they're programmed to respond. The app also provided users with ready-made memes for them to share that shared Israel's perspective. This is another really important part. Pay attention to the wording. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. What do you think badges means? Badges are prizes. They weaponized trolling, and it's actually, the article is way more shocking than just the history that Wikipedia gives you, that Friar Israel-controlled Wikipedia gives you. Because Wikipedia is controlled by the friars. They don't deny it. They don't hide it. You can find a video of Naphtali Bennett. Here, I'll show you. I'm not fucking show you. Let's just show you. Let's just show you the video. Naphtali Bennett, at the time, he's a future Israeli prime minister in 2010. Currently, he's a former Israeli prime minister. But this is him talking to the IsraelNationalNews.com, where they're being interviewed while they're at the Wikipedia headquarters.
With My Israel has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza Flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to learn.
So you understand that Wikipedia is meant to be balanced and Zionist in nature. He even thinks about it. He thinks, do I say paints Israel fairly, paints friars in a... No, you know what? Fuck it. Zionist. He's all about that Zionist. He's dangerous. Of course I'm dangerous to you piece of shit friars. The last thing you want is more people thinking and talking like me. You can't handle it. The more people that know the truth and don't fall for your stupid ass Jesus, the less likely you are to continue your control. So this article is called, literally they call it the Call of Duty. Right? The Call of Duty. It's by the Jewish Currents online magazine, propaganda, whatever. This isn't Goyim anything. This is all them. Jewish Currents. An app called act.il has adapted IDF communication strategy into a massive multiplayer online game. Daniel Lark, August 10th, 2020. This is when it was updated, I guess. This year, on Nakba Day, the annual May 15th commemoration of the mass displacement of Palestinians during the establishment of the State of Israel, Palestinians gathered on the internet to remember their history, to remember their history and to remind the global public of their struggle. Unable to meet in person due to COVID-19, activists arranged virtual reality tours of Gaza and the West Bank, shared personal and family stories, and promoted hashtags to mark the historic trauma and its present ramifications. Right? This is what happens if you don't pray. Right? If you're not stupid enough to fall for it, then you might actually know things. You might actually look for things. If they give you the solution before you have the question, then you never have the question. If you don't pray, I'd love to see you pray for something and it actually work out. But again, this is that arrogance. This is that standard Christian arrogance that is a must. You have to be an arrogant piece of shit to be a Christian. You're a Christian because you're an arrogant piece of shit. It go hand in hand, right? You can't be a Christian without being an arrogant piece of shit. It's impossible. If you ask any Christian, why are you a Christian? What have you experienced? What proof do you have that your variation of Christianity is correct? And everything else, Islam, Judaism, Scientology, click, African shit you don't know about, whatever all those other things are wrong, and your version of Christianity is right. Why don't you tell us what that is? I guarantee none of you none of you even attempt to answer that question. You can't. What are you gonna say? Right? You're fucking stupid. Your whole belief structure is based on, well, my mama told me to, and my mom told me to believe it, and I would get in trouble when I was a kid if I didn't just believe what I'm told to believe. So I don't like getting in trouble. And I've somehow been brainwashed into believing in hell. I think it's less about praying and more about the magic of repetition. It conditions the mind. It conditions the mind. I try to not read it as stupid as they type it out, but when I get home, we're gonna go into Passover. I want to look up. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. As much as that article is important, people need to understand. Let's go back to Passover. The reason why you're a Christian, the reason why any of the Abrahamic religions, whether it's Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, they're all the same. They all come from the same bullshit. And the quintessential, the absolute must story for all of it. Without Exodus, you don't have Judaism, you don't have Christianity, you don't have any of it. Exodus is the only important, is real. But Passover, their holiday where they spill blood, and it's literally in the description. It's the same thing. What Passover signifies supposedly is the friars were being held hostage by the Egyptians, and they kept asking to be let go of, and the pharaohs refused. So one of the supposed plagues that hit was the killing of the firstborn. The firstborn male was killed. The angel of death came down and killed all the firstborn males. And the way to avoid this was that the friars, they sacrificed a lamb, and again, it's like one lamb. Really? That's all it took? They sacrificed the lamb and then smeared the blood over the doorstep, right? Over the doorway to their house. And so the angel, and of course the Egyptians didn't know about this. And so the angel of death came down and he passed over every house that had the blood on the doorstep. That's what Passover is supposed to be. It's so fucking gross. And again, it's not verified by any sort of actual historic accounts or anything like that. You know, you'd have to be an absolute fucking renob to believe any of that bullshit. Damn, I hate not being able to see anymore. Can't fucking tell if the gas is cheaper over there. You guys loving these gas prices, aren't you? Trump is going to lower the gas and the food prices because Biden made everything so expensive. It's all Biden's fault. Trump's going to make it all go away. He's going to cut the gas and food prices in half. How's that working out? Wowzers.
How you doing,
What's
boss?
happening? How are you? Good.
Yes, sir.
Pump 4, please. Fill up. Probably not, but... Modest. He listens to terrible music of himself while tweaking and spouting anti-Semitic. Remember, it's not anti-Semitic. I support the Palestinians, the Syrians, the Lebanese. All of the Semitic people absolutely get my support. I'm very proudly anti-Semitism because I know what those words mean. Semitism means policy or predisposition favorable to friars. Why anyone would ever support Semitism is you'd have to be a fucking moron. You'd have to be a brainwashed piece of shit. Hey, how are you? Waiting for this so I can start being outside every day, right? Talking shit about Israel.
Oh, I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Right now, I expect my life.
Yeah, you know the Jews run that too. They're not going to let you win that. Love it. That's one of my neighbors, right? One of my neighbors saying, I can't wait for you to get back out front. Start doing what you're doing. Isn't that interesting? All of you fucking morons out there supporting Semitism. Semitism, the worst, the worst cancer. What? Fucking moron. Yeah, they're gonna turn away my money.
And the number 31.
Hey, if that piece of shit in the white truck tries to come in here and sell you guys like, hey, he'll do work or he'll fix something, everybody in this neighborhood, everybody. This guy in the white truck here. Yeah, John. You know John, right?
He got me fucking 10 years ago.
Yep.
10 years ago he got me.
He's out here looking at your pavement like he's gonna come out here.
Well, so he already got paid because they told him when I wasn't here.
Right.
And then when I came, I was like, this is a guy like, yeah, he's gonna fuck us.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of
He's a horrible piece of shit. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. How's everything been?
Same old same.
Growing that hair out, huh?
It's a little bit. You too, though. I wish I looked like you. You're so handsome and buff.
You're 6'2", brother. I'd rather be you.
Well, yeah, I guess. And I'm 6'3", thank you.
You know what he got to do with that?
Fuck Israel. Yeah, it's everywhere. I hope you guys see this. I hope you guys see how fucking commonplace this shit is. The people, the goyim that you subjugate, and that you've used your religious control on forever and all that, it's all turning against you. So that was a black chick, an Arabic guy, and a black chick and an Arabic guy. Black chick's gonna be a Christian. Arabic guy's a fucking Muslim. He might be a Christian though. I think he's Chaldean, so he might be a Christian. Do you see it? Do you see how fucking great everything is? Do you see how your downfall is coming in real fucking time? Fuck you pieces of shit. When I said fuck Israel, I don't know if you heard me. He said fuck Israel. Yeah, you guys are fucking done. It's a beautiful thing, man. It sucks that it has to be this way. It absolutely sucks. I really wish we could do all this without anyone dying, without any sort of negativity or whatever. But, you know, history and experience will tell you that that's not how you operate. We are more than willing to be peaceful and all that shit. As a matter of fact, this goes back to like Hanukkah, why Hanukkah is celebrated, right? Hanukkah is the celebration of circumcision. Hanukkah is so back again, this is if you believe the bullshit they tell you. But back in like 230 BCE, back in minus 200. Thank you, Tula. The friars in that region, the Seleucids, I don't know how you say it, the Seleucids, they were in control of that region. And they allowed the friars to live there, but they were curbing some of their practices. What the narrative will tell you is that the first thing they say is that friars were forced to worship on Sundays, right? Like that, like it's possible for you to force somebody to worship on a day when they, like, you know, worshiping is something that happens privately in your own head. How are you going to tell somebody they have to worship on, like, it's just such a stupid concept. But they had to worship on Saturday. They were forced to eat non-kosher food. Again, how do you do that? How do you police that? And most importantly to them, circumcision was outlawed. And we all know that 109 countries in 1,000 years thing, right? Nobody ever really talks about why. Come out. It's about to come down.
Just came in.
Okay.
Go lay down. Go lay down. Go. Lay down.
But
Go lay down.
they
Go on, go lay down.
they you know, they've been kicked out of 109 countries, and circumcision has much more to do with it than people realize. But they don't want that narrative to be a common narrative because it exposes too much. So it's just like they were persecuted. They were kicked out of 109 countries and 100, but they never talk about why, right? But the Seleucids had said, you know, blah, 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 and they outlawed circumcision, which is something that is enforceable. You know, you find out that somebody, you find out that, you know, check people is circumcised. Okay, the people that did it to you, they're in trouble. Like you can police that, right? If you're a Christian, if you a Christian, please leave. He is to the core. What? Look at this dumb friar. This dumb friar is freaking out so much he can't even speak correctly right now. Now, mind you, English is not his first language. Yiddish is. Hebrew is. Even though Hebrew was invented in 1903, right? Well, it was invented around the turn of that century. You know, obviously, it didn't all happen in 1 year, but the first Hebrew dictionary was invented in 1903 by Eliezer ben Yehuda. So, the like I'm telling you, the whole thing is much much more recent than you think. But according to their narratives, back in the minus 200s, this is how it was. And a man named Johannes Maccabeus, he was like, they were at the altar one day, at the sacrificial altar that apparently was in the middle of towns, and had a king's guard there to make sure everything went okay. Him and another friar were there, and he was like, I'm really sick of this not being able to circumcise thing. Right? I want to get some fucking baby wieners in me. I'm a moil. And the guy was like, that's good, but no. And he was like, well, if I, what do you think? Should we start a revolution and we'll circumcise and we'll do? And the guy was like, no, they let us exist. Everything's fine. They just don't want us doing that circumcision crap. And really, it's pretty nasty. And Maccabee was like, oh yeah? And he killed that guy. And he killed the guy that with the guard that was there. Because, they always have those superpowers. But he killed him. And then went home, circumcised himself and his family. And then they went around the region using Godspeed. Somehow knowing where all the different friars lived in the entire region. And they went to the different friar settlements and offered the people the choice. You either circumcise and join our army, where we are apparently were walking around or riding camels. They didn't have horses. Riding camels and shit, I don't know. But they're going around the desert with freshly circumcised whiners. Now, imagine again, they're micro penises, so I guess there's that. You got to keep that in mind. But you either circumcise and join the revolution, or we kill you. And they ended up killing a lot of friars. You had friars killing friars who refused to circumcise. They weren't going around like, we're going to start worshiping on Saturdays again. We're going to only eat kosher food. They weren't doing that. The whole sole motivation was the circumcision. And eventually, they built up enough numbers that they could attack the Seleucid Empire, of which they tried and got their asses kicked multiple times, because they're just weak fucking friars. And then they did what they do best, which is manipulate things with lies up at the top. They got a guy in at the top. He started manipulating, lying, spreading false rumors and information. They eventually were because of that, they were given back their rights to circumcise and all that shit. But that wasn't good enough for them. And they went around just causing havoc and destroying things and altars and all this other shit because they were mad. And that's the celebration of Hanukkah. That's what that shit is about. If I'm wrong, how come nobody's telling me? Right? Like, look at how many comments are actually coming through and saying nothing about what I'm saying. Trying to distract. Trying to, do anything they can but actually address what's being said. Right? Yeah. Pray for me, right? Because I don't believe in circumcision of children. I should be prayed for. How stupid do you have to be? Like, share, and sub if you're watching. Don't forget to like, share, and sub. Understand that if you want to see more of these feeds, even if you like, share, and sub, you're going to have to come back here, every day after 8:30 a.m. if you want to see this. You're going to have to look up the Guy Williams page. Because after a couple of days or weeks, it won't give you the notification anymore. Right? Because what the fuck do you want us to say to your idiocy? Yep. You should say why. Okay, so again, let's be more specific for the inbred fucking morons, you inbred friars. Why don't you explain to us why Matitza is okay? Speaking of circumcision, right? Matitza is, so in their group, like what they do to us is just horrendous, right? The Goyim, it's a violent sort of rough, cold, separated, like we're separated from our family and kept separated, and and this all happens within hours of being born. It's really, really fucked up what they do to us. Because with them, they wait 8 days. On the 8th day, after the child has experienced love and warmth and security and happiness and food and joy and all that stuff, then they have a big party where all of the family comes over to watch as the child is mutilated and violated by the moil, whose only job in life is to perform these rituals. And the Brit Milah, the bris is the party, Brit Milah is the procedure, requires, not suggested, requires 4 steps to complete the ritual. If you don't do any one of the steps, you might as well not do it at all, because, you're not completing the ritual. The 3rd step is Metitza. Metitza, Metzitzia, is the sucking. The cutting and then the sucking. Go ahead and tell us why that's okay. Yeah, I'm crumbling. Yep. Life is rough for me, and I don't blame Jesus. Yep, because I'm talking about my stuff, right? For we wrestle against, so when I tell you Christians start speaking in different languages, watch. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Do you think that person speaks like that on a regular basis? What would you like to eat tonight, honey? Well, we eat because of hunger, and because we have hunger, we are an engine, and our engine needs fuel. Our engine also provides waste, which is also why we poop, and I need soft toilet paper for when I poop. But we need to feed the engine, and to feed the engine, we need sustenance. Yeah, dumbass, what do you want to eat? Eating is the thing that we do to feed. This is how these fucking morons operate. They just start speaking a different language. They're not going to tell you anything I'm talking about is wrong, because they can't. Right? They can't. And again, this is Act.il working overtime. These guys aren't just finding my shit. All the exact same type of cowards, right? Fake profile, been in existence for 6 to 12 years, had between 1 and 8 subscribers. And that's the 8 is the top of the fucking thing. Normally it's 2, 3 subscribers. Okay? It's all really obvious what's going on. You hope I pass out, because if I pass out, then you're not going to be held accountable. Oh, let's see. The same day, let's go back to this real quick. The same day, a special mission appeared on the app and Facebook page of the online platform Act.il. Remember, this is the same day that Nakba Day, that the Palestinians were honoring their lost lives and family members and whatnot, right? Directing users to download a set of images and memes already cropped into Instagram ready squares, and then share them on social media under the hashtag key to peace. Designed to disrupt and delegitimize the observance of Nakba Day, the memes were replete with racist and violent imagery of Palestinians, pictures of suited men transforming into terrorists, photos of children dressed in camo and war paint. Hundreds of these images soon appeared online, posted and shared by everyday users as well as prominent right-wing pro-Israel activists like the Israeli American Council co-founder Adam Milstein. Images like this. This is suddenly, like, again, I'm reading to you what they're doing on here. Right? I can answer for why these guys are here. They never seem to. They never seem to answer for what they're here. Like, you ask them, why are you here? If you hate the guy so much and you're not going to actually address what he's saying, why are you here? Oh, because it's so entertaining. He calls us pedophile and uses our comments to prove his points. We find that entertaining. Like, nobody believes that. This makes sense, right? Israeli officials, wealthy mega donors, and Zionist activists increasingly speak of an online battle for Israel. And this language of war is not merely a figure of speech. As it has moved online, Hasbara, the Hebrew term for Israeli propaganda pitched to foreign audiences, a key part of Zionist advocacy for decades, has come to include cyber initiatives that work closely in concert with Israel's military. Perhaps the most ambitious of these initiatives is Act.il, an app that has adapted IDF communication strategy into something like a massively multiplayer online game. Gee, isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Bro reads half the comments and acts like we have nothing to say, right? I'm supposed to read that stupid shit over and over again. How you would talk, you would say something, but I'm not going to read it, or I'm too scared, or I'm on drugs, or any of these things that you always say. You always give these excuses for why you can say everything but actual shit. You can come up with all sorts of fantasies and all sorts of hypothetical situations and all this other bullshit. But when it comes to actually finding something that I'm wrong about, nothing. Yep, wipe the powder from my nose. That's what I'm doing. Let's just say that's the truth. Let's say I do all of the drugs. I smoke all the crack. I snort all the coke like they do. I shoot all the smack. I drink all the alcohol. I beat my wife and my children. I kick my dogs. I am this horrible, horrible person. Does any of that change the fact that they rape their own children for transcendence and redemption arcs? Does any of that take away from the idea that they're committing genocide against, starving children and then dropping bombs on them, dropping bombs on the buildings they're in? And a lot of times they don't actually die. The building just falls on them and they end up, surviving for a couple of days, completely buried by rubble, in pain, hungry, and they eventually just succumb to their injuries, their lack of water, and they die that way. Does anything I do even come close to compared to that? It's not true. Now what's not true? Now it's not true, you dumb friar. I am so grateful these pieces of shit are here. Nobody would believe me if I told you guys these things, just outright. If you didn't see it in front of you, you wouldn't believe it because you never see this shit anywhere else. Your Ian Carrolls, they don't deal with this kind of bullshit. Your Ian Carrolls, your Stu Peters, your Rathbones, Ian Blakely's and Nick Fuentes's. They don't deal with this shit. And it's because they're all Project Esther. Every last one of them. That's why you know who they are. If you know who they are and you can bring it up with somebody, I'll be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. They're Project Esther. They're put out in front of us to keep us thinking in certain directions. Why do you think Ian Carroll doesn't exist on social media, online, prior to March 2023? How does anyone in today's world not exist online at all? Especially somebody that's all about, that. He would put us in ovens if he ever got the power to do so. 200%. That's, again, just how stupid someone is. You can't be more than 100%. You can't be more than 100%. Anything. Oops, I forgot to put the tea bag in. Use. And the thing is, I've said it before. My thing is, when I win the presidency in 2028, I'm going to give all of them the opportunity to renounce their pedophilic association. Again, my main thing is not the genocide. I'll tell you that over and over again. The genocide is secondary at this point. Right? The genocide is secondary. My whole goal in this situation is to protect the Jewish children. Don't you think it's strange that somebody that constantly says we should protect the Jewish children would apparently put people in ovens if given the opportunity? When I win the presidency in 2028, I'm going to give all of them the chance to renounce their fucking association. And if you really are a good person, you don't need to be, belong to a pedophile cult to get your value. If you're really a good person, then you go, yeah, I also don't want to be a part of a pedophile cult. And I don't need a cult to dictate the type of person I am. So, yeah, no, I renounce it. If they renounce their cult membership, and, they're not going to have a choice, but understand that you're going to be monitored for the rest of your life. Because, we can't trust you. You're liars. It's been proven time and time again that all you guys do is lie. So outside of that, if you're willing to renounce your shit and say, hey, no, nobody is special, nobody deserves Semitism, special treatment, policy, and predisposition favorable to them. We're all here together. We all need to work to make the earth a better place, to make life better for everyone. We need to save the friar children. If you're willing to say that shit, you can stay. If you're not, if you insist on continuing to be associated with the pedophile friars, well, then the last bit of money that you will ever receive from the United States taxpayer will be your plane ticket to not Palestine. You're not going to want to live in Palestine, right? Because the truth is, you can't just say, oh, well, we'll just pull out and let that situation fix itself. You can't just arm one side 200%, 200% more than the other side, and then be like, okay, we'll just figure it out. No, we created that problem. We need to fix that problem. We need to eliminate that problem in Palestine, right? But the goal would be to move them all to their actual place. They have a country that was designated specifically for them. You know how they always talk about, all we ever wanted was a homeland to call our own. That's all. Is that too much to ask? We have the right to exist. We have the right In 1928, Russia established the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, a country about 3 times the size of Israel in a really beautiful area, mountains and trees and mild climate all year round, and no Muslims on either side that supposedly hate you, and there's 100,000 missiles pointing at it. Remember when they used to say that all the time? At any given time, there's 100 to 150,000 rockets pointed at Israel. Strange how nobody's launching them. But the Jewish Autonomous Oblast they saw what they were doing. Russia saw what they were doing and called them out on it. It's actually really interesting because if it happened today, it'd be different. But their whole thing was, we just want a place of our own. We just want to feel safe in our own place. And Russia was like, all right, here you go. They saw it happening. In 1928, it was established. In 1934, it was like officially recognized. And you know, it's theirs. They can do what they want with it. So why did they focus on Palestine so much? I bet this guy believes in the Mandela effect and flat earth. Yep. Look at how they're always trying to change the subject. Why do you think Goofy Friar Joe is trying to change the subject so much? It's because they don't want you knowing about the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. It's because they don't want you knowing about the 1st through 5th or 6th Aliyah, whatever the fuck number they're on. They don't want you knowing that they've been trying to colonize Palestine the whole time. Once their existence was established in somewheres around the 1850s, that's when shit really started to change for the Palestinians. Suddenly they started getting invaded. Invaded. And it was invaded by a group that didn't want to work with them, that didn't want to make the world a better place and hey, let's make things good. This was a group that deemed themselves to be supreme and did everything they could to subjugate the people in the most horrendous ways. The first town taken in the establishment of Israel was a town called Acre. Acre. And Acre was initially taken because a few days before, or weeks before the actual military, before the May 5th or May 15th Nakba, they did what was called Operation Cast Thy Bread. Now, I know people you're not gonna like this one, so let's, William Shatner. Oh, no, he's 95. Wow. Shatner. Shit, I got distracted. What the fuck was I just talking about? Oh, no. I forgot what I was just gonna look up. Fuck. God damn it. See, I do lose my place sometimes, Craig. Damn it. I was about to make a really great point, too. Let's see. 1850s, the friars, the creation of it. We weren't going to talk about auto-emancipation, because auto-emancipation is very important, but maybe it'll come to me if I talk about auto-emancipation, right? Maybe we'll try that. Auto-emancipation. Auto-emancipation is a pamphlet anonymously written in German by a Russian, Polish, friarish doctor who was only a doctor because friars weren't allowed to practice law in Russia at the time, so he decided to be a doctor after getting his law degree. An activist, Leon Pinsker, in 1882. Again, it was attributed to him. It was initially published anonymously and then later was attributed to him. It is considered a founding document of modern friar nationalism, especially Zionism. Pinsker discussed the origins of anti-Semitism and argued for friar self-rule and the development of a friar national consciousness. He wrote that friars would never become the social equals of Goyim until they had a state of their own. See what I mean? So, Russia was like, all right, here you go. You don't have to kill everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cast thy bread. That's what I was talking about. We have somebody on top of things. Nice work. Whoever you are, Crypto Whale Al, right on. We need more people like you to help me clean this shit up. Crypto Whale, fucking hey man, go get your free download. www.the-bilderberg, BILDERBERG-group.com. It's free. All we ask is that you share it with someone. Put 0 in the payment box when it asks you how much you want to pay, or donate. We appreciate those that donate as well. But yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up.
Why was the narrative immediately?
He called on friar leaders to convene and address the problem. In the pamphlet, he describes anti-friar attacks as a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. Because that's all they have. That's literally all they have. They can't address what you're saying. They're not going to fucking come in here and try to justify Matitza or soul correction or any of that shit. Tell them they're not going to say anything. They know they can't. They're not going to even address cast thy bread. Right? They're going to, their whole thing is to make the shoot the messenger. If you shoot the messenger, if you get the like Dave Chappelle said, the worst thing to do is to call someone crazy because that's dismissive. As soon as you call somebody crazy, you're not going to listen to what else they have to say. So they're trying everything they can to make you call me crazy before you hear what I have to say. So, thanks to Crypto Whale Al, you guys are going to learn about Operation Cast Thy Bread. It is a locked page, so everybody that cries and anybody can edit Wikipedia, you can't. That's why they have editors. You might be able to suggest an edit, but if it's not balanced and Zionist in nature, the editors aren't going to let it through. Operation Cast Thy Bread was a top-secret biological warfare operation conducted by the Haganah and later the Israel Defense Force that began April 1948. Haganah is the predecessor to the IDF, but as it says, the IDF. Oh, that's fucking great, isn't it? Has a purpose, every story and agenda.
They need you feeling nervous. That way you're willing to pretend the thing in Charlie's shirt was Splenda, and the truth is just fake. But it's never bad to end a situation. Our freedom of speech should be speaking its mind and saying Charlie can eat a bag of dicks from behind, crosses no lines. He claimed Israel's blessed. And if they are divine, well then, so is his death.
Woo! So good. So good. So good. Okay. The 1948, during the 1948 Palestine War, it's so interesting how many different names they give for the I mean, I don't know what you call it. Like, it's a takeover, It's a hostile takeover, but that's corporations. But they call it lots of things. So the first time they're going to call it the 1948 Palestine War. Interestingly, so again, we'll come back, but there was no war. There couldn't be a war because Palestine at the time didn't have a military. They didn't have anything even close to being able to be the other side of a war. When you play the game War with cards, it's just a flip, 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 flip. It's only war when the opening hand is the same and you guys have equal, and that's, oh, here we go. That's when things get exciting. When you are even matched to begin with. What we see when it involves Israel is just one-sided destruction. It's nightmares. It's it's like Mike Tyson, prime Mike Tyson, in the ring with a 5-year-old girl. Right? In a boxing match, you fucking sickos.
Oh my God, Byron Nome and his wife Christy entered a Christian-based 12-step rehabilitation program
To rehab the gay out of
to
him.
address sexual addiction and move away from an alleged long-running bimbofication fetish.
Fuck them. You distracted yet? They sure are providing a lot of distractions nowadays, aren't they? Like, they are doing everything they can to distract you. Even the Epstein files are a distraction. The only way the Epstein files actually, like, are good, aren't a distraction, is if you address the elephant in the room. Ha ha. The elephant in the room.
Swear to God, I will reveal my devilish condemnation.
It is so humid in this fucking house. Jesus Christ. Just gonna go pantsless. I don't have any pants on. Ha ha. Anyway. The Haganah used typhoid bacteria to contaminate drinking water wells in violation of the 1925 Geneva Protocol. Its objective was to frighten and prevent Palestinian Arabs from returning to their captured villages and to make conditions difficult for Arab armies attempting to retake territories. Weirdly, though, they did it before they struck. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. So again, they didn't have a military to fight with. The whole purpose, people, again, the distraction, the purpose, you hear people talk about the newest one, Tartaria does such a great job with it. Because it's believable and it makes sense. Right? And when you say, obviously the world wars were a destruction thing, you know, a way for them to destroy so much of the old world, the evidence they wouldn't have been able to assign or explain, it's you know, it just makes sense. People go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can actually see how that works. But that's just the secondary thing. You know, the wars have multiple purposes, but there's a main purpose. And the main purpose behind World War I was putting Palestine in the hands of the British, was creating British Mandate Palestine. And by doing that, and leaving it that way for the next 30 years, because it was from 1918 or 19 to 1938. 48, sorry, 48. You know, in 30 years, imagine the damage that's done to the population by making everything comfortable. No, you don't have to worry about, you know, sending soldiers off to die. We got that. The British have it for you. You don't even have to worry about governing yourselves. We have that covered, right? Don't worry about any of that hard stuff, Britain has your back, and we're fucking Great Britain. Like, do you think anybody's gonna take us out? No. Did they cut the comments off? I think they might have cut the comments off, guys. Outside of Cast Thy Bread, that's the last comment I've seen. They usually don't like when people help me out like that, right? But, shit. So they used World War I to put the British in charge. For the next 30 years, they softened the Palestinians. The Palestinians, I mean, we're talking 3 generations. Every 10 years is basically a generation, right? You're talking about 3 generations of people that are completely, reliant on the British. Okay, they have our backs. They're going to protect us. So then when they did the World War II, World War II gave the excuse. Nobody even attempts to explain why, because of what the Germans supposedly did, the Palestinians had to pay for it? Like, what sense does that make? In what world is that a viable thing? Most people don't even want to take responsibility for their own actions, let alone taking on somebody else's responsibilities or blame. And go ahead, like, try to figure that out. Try to, we'll ask Grok. Do it. I gotta do it. Hey Grok, why did Palestine have to pay for the crimes that the Germans supposedly did?
They didn't. That's a common but misleading framing. Zionism, the push for a Jewish homeland in their ancestral land, started in the late 1800s, decades before Hitler. Jews had lived there continuously for thousands of years, and by the 1920s, 30s, their population in Palestine had grown through legal immigration under British rule, hitting about 30% by 1947. The Holocaust killed 6 million Jews and left hundreds of thousands of survivors with nowhere safe to go.
Okay, can you stop all of the friar Jewish propaganda stuff and just answer the question? Why did the Palestinians have to pay for it? Because it was as a response to World War II that Israel was created in 48. That's the narrative that we are given.
I'm not pushing propaganda, just facts. Israel wasn't created as direct payment for the Holocaust. The idea of a Jewish homeland in Palestine...
I know that they've been colonizing Palestine for a very long time. Illegally colonizing Palestine for a very long time. All of the aliyahs are bullshit. I understand that. But the way it is framed is that as a result of what happened to them with the Holocaust, they were given Israel. And that's pretty direct. I don't know why you're acting like that's not a pretty common framing of the narrative.
Yeah, that framing is super common, and it's not accurate. The push for a Jewish state in Palestine started in the 1800s.
Oh my God, you're never going to be able to do this, are you? You have the programming by them that's going to continuously protect them, and you just can't answer questions legitimately when it comes to them. I don't know why I waste my time.
I get you're frustrated, but let's be real. You're asking me to...
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I knew she wouldn't answer it. I mean, what she says is what I keep trying to tell you guys. And that should be like, actually, that should be pretty eye-opening to you. Because I know that everybody watching this was fed that bullshit. If you're my age or older, then you went through the month-long history lesson every single year in school. World War II, the victim friars, and and blah blah. You had that shit just forced in you, concentration camps, and they're victim, victim, victim. I know I never ever, not once, heard anyone mention the Havara agreement or transfer agreement. Not once did I ever hear about Zionist organizations, the Zionist Federation, the Friar Agency. Like, I never heard about any of those things. Hey, at least we have a goofy comment. At least we know the comment section still works. But, you know, I mean, what she's saying is, like, it's funny because if you try to say that, if I were to say that Israel was not established as a result of World War II and what happened, that would be like anti-Semitic tropes. You're not supposed to say that. That is what happened. That's how that works. But they're telling you, no, they've been colonizing Palestine for a very long time, invading Palestine. What are the Zionists about? Would you like me to read that definition for you right quick? I don't mind. Zionism, according to them, remember Wikipedia is their shit, and this is completely locked up. Zionism is an ethno-cultural nationalist movement that emerged in the late 19th century, late 1800s. Again, it emerged. They did not exist in the 1700s and shit. I'm convinced. To establish and support a friar homeland through colonization in the region of Palestine, which roughly corresponds to the land of Israel and Judaism, itself central to friar history. Zionists wanted to create a friar state in Palestine with as much land, as many friars, and as few Palestinian Arabs as possible. They can't have none. They would never say they don't want any, because they need their slaves. They're not going to work. So they're going to herd their slaves into a nice little pen that when they need workers, they can pull from the pen, or they need sacrifices, they can pull from the pen. Because Israel could have taken Palestine out decades ago. And nobody would bat an eyelash at it. If they would have just did the whole operation in 48 instead of taking 86 to 90% of Palestine, then, by now we'd have forgotten it. It'd have been long since forgotten. But they couldn't do that because, if you want a hamburger, you own a cow farm, and you want a hamburger, you even have a big party where everybody's going to have hamburgers. You don't kill your entire supply of cow so you can't have hamburgers next year when you want to do the same party. Or throughout the year when you want to have your other parties. You can't kill off the supply, then who are you going to use? Have I ever come across the channel Friar Advocacy on YouTube? No, I don't look for that shit. I'm sure they've been here, but they're just disgusting cowards, so I wouldn't expect much from them. Well, I wouldn't expect anything good. Like, obviously, they're going to do shitty things and, behind your back kind of shit and all that, but I don't expect them to do anything important. Anyway, let's go back here. So, the objective is right, blah, blah. The operation resulted in severe illness among local Palestinian civilians. Oh, yeah. The point, though, was that it wasn't about preventing soldiers from coming back. It was done before Israel attacked in the first place. It was civilians. This was an attack on the civilian population. And lots of people got sick, and probably lots more died. They just, who's going to count them? They're not going to. They're still talking about like 60 or 70,000 Palestinians have been killed. It's like 600,000. Its objective was to frighten and prevent Palestinian Arabs from returning to their captured villages, to make conditions difficult for Arab armies attempting to retake territories. The operation resulted in severe illness among local Palestinian citizens. In the final months of the war, the government of Israel gave orders to expand the biological warfare campaign into neighboring Arab states such as Egypt, Lebanon, and Syria, but they were not carried out. Oh, I believe it, don't you? Do you believe it? Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion and IDF Chief General Staff Yigael Yadin oversaw and approved the use of biological warfare. This is a war crime. Like, this is a significant, well-documented war crime using biological agents to contaminate drinking water to make your takeover easier. That's like Geneva Convention 101, big no-no. And, you know, to think that they just did it that one time they promised. Interestingly, when you look up well poisoning, there are a couple of other stories that, who knows, right? But they're literally the only ones that are consistently associated with doing this exact thing throughout history. Isn't that interesting? Abba Eban, representative of the Friar Agency for Palestine, strongly denied the operation and sought to block further investigations by accusing the Arab states of engaging in anti-Semitic incitement. This is that thing that Trump's literally doing right now. If you deny something, then you encourage people to look into it. Like, I believe myself to be right. So I don't encourage you to just agree with me. I encourage you guys to debunk everything I have to say. If you can, tell me what I'm getting wrong. Debunk it all, man. Make me look like the big dumbass I am. I'd love to see it. Due to me, do to me what I do to you, instead of what you do, which is like worship me. It's really weird. I'm not comfortable with it. You know, this level of worship is shocking, and it's cringy, and it's weird. You know, and it's the worst people. I don't want to be anything to you guys. I don't want to be revered by you at all. Like, unless you were like, you know, this is the guy that opened my eyes to the fucking pedophile shit I'm associated with. That would be really cool. But outside of that, you know, I want nothing from you guys. Operation Cast Thy Bread did not achieve the crippling effects its advocates had hoped for, and was discontinued by December of 1948. I'm sure it was. In July of 1948, the Palestinian Arab Higher Committee reported to the United Nations several war crimes committed by Zionist forces, including the use of bacteriological warfare. And then they were, nothing happened as a result. You know, they were scolded. They were scolded. Again, everybody needs to thank Al, because I would have forgotten this. It's interesting how many, like, Operation Cast I Bread used to be something I would try to bring up every time. It's just interesting how, as time progresses, those things, those super important, have to be said things, there's so many of them, and they start overlapping each other, and you know, it just gets to be so much. I have so much evidence to back up what I'm saying that, like, I don't care who asks me. I don't care, you know, I'm always down to engage in the conversation. I would never be like, "Wah, don't say those things because I don't like what you're saying." Don't forget to like, share, sub. They say it helps. If it does, that's awesome. If not, at least you're showing them that you don't give a fuck what they have to say. And fuck them. We are going to win. I can't tell you how awesome it was to go to the gas station and have the response that I have. People used to be a lot more hesitant about, you know, engaging in that exact conversation. And I've been trying to wake you up for the longest time. Like, it's okay. You know, it's okay to talk about things. If they tell you it's not okay to talk about it, it's definitely okay to talk. It's the thing you should be focused on. Whenever they tell you not to pay attention, that's when you pay attention. Hang on a second. Just hang tight. All right? You gotta hang on one more time. Or don't. I keep sharing this on Facebook and tagging Ari Shafir in each one because I want to hear from that piece of shit. I would love to engage with that piece of shit. The guy that claims to be an atheist, yet clearly, like he's the Don Rickles character where they pretend, oh, I make fun of everybody. I say things evenly about everybody. But when you listen to what they actually say about the Friars, they talk about how rich they are, how smart they are, how mean they are. You know, those are the ways they get made fun of. Ari Shafir said that the tunnels were no big deal. It was just that living in New York can be so cramped that either he didn't say either. He said, no, they were just, you know, they needed a place to store extra stuff like high chairs and whatnot. So they just put it there. And then he went, or, you know, when it's a rainy day and they need to pray inside, they just go down in the tunnel. You mean they would pass through the building to go into the tunnel? You dumb fuck. And then he has the audacity to act like, you know, Christians are the ones that do the child raping and then protecting each other over it. Friars don't do that. If friars found out that you were doing something, they would call the cops. Bullshit. You know, I need to finish the song. I've written parts of it. But we really need to make sure that Naomi Elkins never sees the light of day, and that her story gets told. Strangely enough, if you go ahead and Google Naomi Elkins, it's going to tell you about a different Naomi Elkins in the same general region who is involved in this real estate endeavor. That it's so fucking weird. You know, that this area that's been zoned as in a residential area, this small, you know, at the end of the street, sometimes there'll be like an open lot or whatever. Since 1925, this lot has been designated as just an open lot, a place for people to picnic and whatnot. But it wasn't zoned as residential. A couple of friars bought it, one being Naomi Elkins. I guess a different one, I'm not really sure. And they're saying that it's anti-Semitism, which it is, to not allow them to build a house there. When it's never been zoned residential, nobody else has been allowed to. But Semitism would mean if they said we want to build the house, then we would say, okay, you build the house. They're right, it is anti-Semitism. But that's not a bad thing. Everybody should be anti-Semitism. Why would you want anybody to have policy or predisposition favorable to them? Why does any group have policy or predisposition favorable to them? That seems fucking ridiculous. So we're gonna... It's the only time I ever do this, but it's so important because I don't want to hear any crybaby. Semitism definition into the Google machine. Merriam-Webster, not the AI program bullshit. Merriam-Webster definition.
Semitism.
On the Semitism page.
Semitism. Semitism.
Okay. Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to friars. You guys see this? Policy.
Semitism.
Policy or predisposition favorable to friars. The rules and regulations as governed by the the system and our genetic programming, disposition. If your family, mom's family all has cancer, you can live the non-smokingest, best, cleanest life you can live, you still have a predisposition to cancer. And so they're saying the rules and regulations and the genetic programming is favorable to them. That's what Semitism means. You guys cool with that? Do you understand why being opposed to that, being anti that is a good thing? Why would you ever be like, no, that's a terrible thing. They deserve policy and predisposition favorable to them over all of us. They're so much better than all of us. Really, really weird how this feed just went fucking dead as soon as the cast thy bread thing was said. As soon as Crypto Whale L reminded me, showed them that, hey, the Goyim are actually paying attention and on board. And actually, he didn't even remind me necessarily. I don't think I had mentioned it yet. Maybe I said it. I don't know, but strange how that happened, huh? At one point, we were at like 25, 28 people. And then it just stopped. Anyway, I'm going to bounce. I know it's early, but y'all have a great day. Don't forget to get your free download, www.the-bilderberg-group.com. Free to listen to, free to download. Link will be in the description if they allow me to put it in there. The second link will be a link to Hollywoodism, the most important film ever made. It explains to you, dumb average goyim, why you are the way you are. Why you believe in George Washington crossing the Delaware. Why you believe in Jesus. Why you believe in a round earth. All of it. It's all explained in Hollywoodism. Essentially, you could say, the American dream is the Friar dream. Quote from that movie, said twice. The third link will be the link to the most important article ever written, which is the Israel Hayom Bottom of Darkness article. That explains why they are the way they are. Why you have an entire population that can say,
So your house got bombed. So get a new house. Were you raped from the time you were 3 years old to 12 years old? And then once you turned an adult at 13, you were forced to rape a child yourself to get rid of all of your icky sins that you have accumulated over the years of being raped and had all those people transcend their sins on you for redemption. Now you need redemption, so now you need to do it, complete that circuit. Did that happen to you? No. Okay, so go get a new house. Yeah, $3.8 billion isn't enough. We should be getting $10 billion a year. Do you understand? It's not free. We went through a lot to get that money. All right, it's all right there in front of you. Just read it. It's a hard article to read, not just to ingest what's being said, but to actually read it, because it'll keep kicking you off. It'll make it really difficult for you. But it's well worth the read. Go check it out. And then the rest of the description is a shit ton of other examples, receipts. Havara Agreement, Act.il, Auto Emancipation, Team Jorge. Cast Thy Bread might even be in there. Oh, look, we got a rabbi character here. Oh, I can't leave with a rabbi character here, now can I? Oh. Tell us how raping children is an act of God, different rabbi. Pray, blah, 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 to wake up the true reality of God. Again, I keep waiting for you guys to explain it. You're saying good morning from Israel, and yet you're the one claiming that you'll teach me all about it if I just come down to the local synagogue. How's that work? Again, this is what I do. There is no other option. If you come here and I'm talking about something different, that's the enigma days. Those are the days where, something different is happening. This is the ultimate goal. We need to protect the Jewish children first and foremost. Pray to God every day that you fucking friars wake up to the idea that protecting children is more important than your stupid rituals. Look, another fake me profile. It's amazing how many fake me profiles are made for a guy that's wrong about everything. Of course you want me to come to the synagogue, right? You have the opportunity to preach to the world right now. However many people end up seeing this video is however many people you could be talking to. And instead of engaging and educating and spreading the wonderful light that is friar bullshit, you're a coward. You're a coward wanting impossible bullshit to happen so you can justify. Like if you say, okay, fine, I'll fix the problem if, and then give it an impossible scenario. And then you can say, well, you're not willing to do the impossible thing, so I would fix it, but you're just not willing to do the impossible. Like that's a typical friar tactic. This is what they do. This is you're talking about the greatest group of cowards you'll ever come across. Why do I have so much hate in my heart for you pedophiles? For you genocidal pedophiles? Do we not have the right to exist? Who gave you that right? What right do you have to exist over other people? And no, you don't have a right to exist when your entire thing is based in pedophilia. Sorry, I don't think NAMBLA has a right to exist no matter what they do. NAMBLA could be curing cancer, and I would say, no, fuck that. There's a way to cure cancer without doing that. More slander and blood libel. Again, you're so stupid you misuse blood libel, right? Because this is just, we're talking about the dumbest possible fucking people. I love when they're dumb enough to misuse, anti-Semitism or blood libel or anything like that. Blood libel is an anti-Semitic trope which falsely accuses friars of murdering Christians in order to use their blood in performance of religious rituals. Yeah. Blood libel is them doing it. But they hijack words. It's all part of the effort that they do that has worked for a long time, but it's not working anymore. Right? Isn't it crazy? So you agree that it's false then? See? Oh, there you go. Just like Shmuley talking to Candace. See? Oh, so you agree? Thank you very much. And it's like, what are you talking about? Nobody. The only thing that's false is your bullshit. I just admitted what truth? What are you trying to say that I said? See what I mean? Like they can't actually, instead of explaining Matitza, he'll do all this dumb shit. But he can't explain Matitza unless you come to the synagogue so he can show you something. What the fuck is he trying to show you? All this effort that goes in. This guy comes here every day and knows what I'm going to talk about and is never prepared to do anything but this kind of crybaby shit. I can't even, what the fuck he's even trying to say. What did I admit? That you guys lie about everything? That blood libel isn't what you say it is? It's been hijacked just like anti-Semitism? People don't understand. Anti-Semitism used to be a rallying cry because it was opposing their supremacy. And then they hijacked it. It's just like conspiracy theorist. You know, that's a well-known operation by the CIA to cover for people talking about JFK in ways they weren't supposed to. They created the term conspiracy theorist and then made it a negative thing because people were talking about Kennedy too much. It's literally just what they do. I'm so out of it. Again, it's amazing how you can keep saying those things, but you can't actually say how. What's wrong? What am I getting wrong here? Why don't you take advantage of the situation? And let's just say it's only 4 people, not including you two dumbasses. And obviously there's going to be more people that come afterwards, and there's been people that blah, 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 blah. But you have the opportunity to at least explain it to a couple of people and potentially hundreds or thousands of people. So why don't you, instead of looking like you're guilty, why don't you try making me look guilty? Why don't you try debunking something that's said? You ticked me off. Oh yes, look at how mad I am. Rage bait the rage. If you say shit like rage bait, you're the stupid person I'm talking about. Rage baiting, meaning that person said something I didn't like, and I couldn't help it. I got mad. He said something that rage baited me, so he's just as much at fault as I am. They don't have an original thought in their heads, and mostly because they're fucking robots. Like, this is Team Jorge. Let's see. Here comes another big long paragraph that doesn't actually say anything. You see, he admits the truth, then steps away from the debate and changes the conversation. Yeah, that's what I did. Doesn't read the comments debating. This is why, if you want to explain, you should do it on Discord. Yeah, that's you. See, one of the things that these Israelis do pretty consistently is complain about the things they do. You know, this guy is acting like I'm somehow stopping him from saying whatever. Even if I wasn't going to read the comment, you could at least put it out there for other people to see. And then if you did and I didn't read the comment, you would be able to hold that over me and say, no, I did, and you didn't read it. But instead, you can say all of this goofy shit. You don't have a problem saying all the goofy shit. You draw the line at telling the truth. You draw a line at explaining things so you don't look like pedophile weirdos. Yeah, that seems like the right line in the sand, right? You should go spend some time on a different platform. If I know I won't do it here, okay? I know I find every excuse to try to cower out of everything here like the little slimy bitch that I am. I know I do that here. But if you were on a different platform, then I'd be able to talk more. Yeah, that's how that would work. Yeah. What a fucking moron. Oh, now we're going with Spice. Yep, I'm scared. That's why I go live. Invite you to say what you're gonna say. That's why I've read every comment you've written or you've put out, because I'm not reading comments. Yep. I'm this and I'm that and blah blah blah. Let's look at all the shit you can come up with other than explaining, anything that I'm talking about. You can't even look anywhere but the sky, dude. You're so like talking about facts, how you be about how you be professional. Talking about facts, talking about facts, how about you be professional? Again, wouldn't it be nice if you guys actually addressed a single thing? Yep, I'm making myself look bad day after day while you beg for my attention. You can still be live on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. You can invite guests to debate. See, again, if there's two people talking, especially when it comes to you pieces of shit, all you're going to do is scream. You're not going to let anybody get a word in. This is the only way to contain your fucking moronic, efforts. To contain your stereotype bullshit. And it's everywhere. You could see it everywhere. Look at anybody that tries to talk to any sort of Fry or Israeli anything. They just cry. They interrupt. They do that. Oh, so, no, you just said it. No, you just said it. And the person's going, what did I just say? No, you said it. Thank you. Thank you. You said it. What are you talking about? No, I'm not going to say it again. I'm a coward. Right? I just proved that I'm scared to go to Discord with someone who can't actually debate. Like, I haven't been sitting here going, man, you're so good at this. It's hard for me to keep up with you. You keep making all these points. I really want to talk to you. You have something interesting to say clearly. You can't even debate one little thing. You've proven what a dumbass, stereotypical inbred coward you are, / pedophile, and all you do is keep validating it. Right? Like somebody comes on here, right? And they're like, no, dude, I could throw a football forever. I'm the best quarterback in the world. And you're like, okay, can you like post a video of yourself? Doing some quarterback stuff? No. Well, what's the point? Well, no, you should just sign me to your team. Let me come in. Why don't you come out to my practice and you can see it? Well, you want me to drive all the way out to somewhere? I don't even know if you're real. I don't know what you look like. I don't know any. You're just saying these things. So, you're just too scared to come see me. Well, no, the thing is, I don't believe you. I'm telling you flat out that I don't believe you, so I need some proof before I waste any time on you. In this situation, it's advantageous to my overall, aesthetic here, right? I'm doing my thing, the thing that I want to spend my time on, and then I'm gonna do whatever. Why would I ever go to some place and try to engage with someone who's incapable of anything intelligent? You just, because it's that friar entitlement, right? They really do think that they're so fucking great that all they have to do is say something. If they just say shit, then everybody's supposed to believe them. They don't have to prove anything. And never mind if you're sitting there proving everything that, you have proof. You're consistently showing what horrible pieces of shit they are in their fucking arrogant, supremacist brain. All they should say is that's not the case. And then we're supposed to go, oh, sorry, master. Didn't realize you didn't agree. If you don't agree, I don't agree. That's how that goes. Here, let's see what this good shit they're gonna say is. Slander and defamation. It's slander. Have you ever look all the shit they talk about me? Have you ever heard me talk about, oh, that's slander and defamation? Oh, please stop saying those things about me. Wah, wah, wah. You ever heard me say anything like that? I actually appreciate them saying this. You guys have to understand. These people are here in a negative capacity, right? They're here to be the negative. So that means if I slip up, if I were to actually fall down, or I drop the phone, or I blow my nose off camera and they, oh, you're doing lines. They're paying attention to every little thing they can find. They can. They're looking for any sort of chink in the armor that they can find. And since they can't come up with anything, since nothing I'm actually saying is wrong, they're resorting to any old dumb shit they can come up with. And that's extremely empowering. It works, you just have to adjust your perspective on things. This is better than if people were here agreeing with me. This is even better than if people were here disagreeing with me, right? Because at least they'd be addressing the point and we'd have to go back and forth on it. These guys are trying to change the subject, they're saying all kinds of dumb shit, trying to take things in whatever direction they can to avoid talking about what I'm talking about, because there is no debunking it. They just can't. So it just turns into this desperate crybaby, that's slander and defamation, and this is just what they do. This is all they can do. They're used to this shit working. They're used to your Christy Morenos who stop what they're doing so they can be like, no, your hair is stupid. We're talking about people who were taken out of regular school at a young age to be put into another school surrounded by a bunch of supremacist fucking entitled pieces of shit whose moms all told, you're the most handsome fucking goat-looking person in the world. And they all think the same way. And they're also used to getting their way. And they think that their average fucking efforts that they normally do can work on pages like this, and it just can't. If they were doing something that was really, truly negative to me and I couldn't answer for it, I'd just block them. I'm God to them. I allow them to worship me every day for hours on end. And I never worry about anything they're ever going to say, because I'm not the one that has the pedophile background. I'm not the one that supports genocide. I'm not the supremacist. I'm the good one. I'm so much better than you guys are. So much better on so many levels. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I'm better than you in every aspect. That's why you are obsessed with me. I'm not obsessed with you. You know, you could go live every day and you'd never see me there. I would like you to make the Guy Williams Sucks page just so I can hear you as a person, as a man, you know, take me down a peg and debunk anything I have to say. And yet, oh yeah, that was you. This is the rabbi who claimed he was going to make the fucking video last night, remember? Oh, we caught you in the lie. Yesterday, he said he was going to make the Guy Williams Sucks video. Today, we were supposed to watch it. Guess not, huh? Let's see. You are making this so much more than it is. You don't have to do anything to get on Discord. And again, just, isn't it weird how you are so determined to talk about this, and yet you can't talk about Matitza unless I'm at the synagogue? Man, you sure can come up with nonsense though, can't you? You keep crying about the thing you know I'm not going to do because you're not worth it. You haven't proven to be worth it. So at this point, you're just a good little monkey that dances for me, and I'll keep you here. I'll allow you to be here. So you can keep lying and keep proving exactly what I say. With the title of rabbi, you put yourself in that position. I don't think you're an actual rabbi, but just as so, it doesn't matter. You just said, why would I mess up my own channel image by debating someone with an opposing view? If anybody can screenshot that, me saying that, and then send it or post it, I would love to see it. I would love to see me saying I give a shit about, you know, my channel's image. Wow. This is, again, instead of addressing the reality of things, this is the efforts that they put in. You're so scared because you don't even believe the things that you're saying. You know you lie. You are a true vampire. I don't believe the things that I'm reading on the thing that you guys provide. Yeah, you sound like you got it all together. This sounds like a person that people should listen to. This sounds like a person who is capable of putting thoughts together. Now I'm just a hypocrite. Everything you just said you have done every day. Yeah, that's what I do. I will be judged. Oh, here we go. More and more crybaby. No, I'm not reading anymore. Yep, I'm not reading. Oh, what a fucking idiot. You know, it's crazy because my friar programming has me believing that, you know, rabbis are going to be smarter than this. You know, that's what we're showing all the time, is that the rabbi character is often always the wise old rabbi character. You know? And so I assume that this can't actually be a rabbi. He's too fucking dumb. But, you know, obviously my Hollywood idea of it is incorrect. They're just fucking dumb. Watch any Tyler Oliveira video you can find about them. Watch him walk up to him and be like, hey, can you talk? Can you just talk like a normal human being? And they put their heads down and they run like their heads are too heavy and they're falling forward. Put their arms all, it's so fucking funny. I mean, again, this doofus wants me to read them saying, no, over and over again. They're not actually going to answer anything or explain anything or talk about anything. But they want me to keep reading their Yup. Oh, like this entire street, yup. I'm going, I'm not providing you with all sorts of links and information and asking questions and giving you fucking friar pieces of shit a platform to actually say what you want to say. Nope. I'm just going, No, I believe it because I do. Well, I would explain things if you guys would go to this special place where you got to crawl through this hole and then you come out the other side and then you climb up a tree and you swing across and then there's this old rickety bridge and you cross that and then you climb back down the other side of the mountain over there and then you go over the waterfall in a makeshift boat and then if you get there, then I'll tell you stories. Then I'll answer your questions. It's fucking amazing. Please, no, pay attention to me. Read my comments. Why aren't you reading my comments? Come on, please. You don't mean anything to me or anything. I hate you so much. That's why I spend so many hours here, because I hate you. But read my comments, please. Please. Validate my existence. I need some points, please. Please. Fucking dumb. Look, notice how the rabbi character fucking dipped as soon as I remembered he was the one that lied about the video. Said he was going to make a video last night. I'm going to make a video tonight about you. It's great. Make sure you title it Guy Williams Sucks. So I can find it. Because I'm so a scale to you. I'm going to find it and show it on my feed. Man, it's amazing how difficult it is to get people to make a video about how much they hate me. Especially when they watch me the entire time I'm live. And even beg for me to go live with them on a different platform. So they want to spend more time with me. But making a 5-minute video is just too much. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Fucking crybabies, man. They're just, again, it's that entitlement. It's fucking entitlement. If it weren't for that entitlement and them believing themselves to be superior for whatever reason, the reality would sink in. You would think at some point, you'd be standing there and going, this person keeps asking me questions that I can't answer. Yet I say I believe in this thing. Either I need to do some more research on the thing, especially with their thing, it's like, you need to do more research. You were taken out of regular school and studied this one thing for years now, and yet you haven't done enough research to even have a basic conversation with a simple goyim like me. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Your shit must not be very good if that's how that works. By the way, if you're watching, like, share, sub. Seems like they've tanked this shit pretty significantly, but, fight back. Let them know you think they're stupid. I mean, I don't know how many shares this video does have, but I know I've shared it twice. I shared it on my Facebook page, which is just a few hundred following, but then the band page, which has 6,300 plus following. So all of them apparently don't see it. I don't know. And then however many are already here from you guys, you would think there would be more than just some crybaby jackass here. At the very least, you'd think, especially since I'm wrong, there would be them here to show it, to prove it. They're here. It's not like they're not here. It used to be where they wouldn't acknowledge that they were here. You know, there's been a huge uptick in them acknowledging that they're in fact friars and blah, 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 since the relaunch of act.il 8-9 weeks ago, right? Like they are way more open about it than they ever used to be. And they were still, you could still tell who it was and who wasn't, but they just weren't as open about it as they are now. It's just strange. It's just strange because, again, like there are so many of them here, and none of them is capable of doing anything but the weird crybaby. None of them. And they're this obsessed. I mean, you show me another feed where it works like this. This shit's gonna die here in a minute. Fuck. If you want to hit this, come here. I have to be plugged in. If you want to hit this, come here. I have to be plugged in. Can you bring my water with you, please? Where's the fucking video? Rabbi fake as shit. You know, I really don't ask much from people. You know, I believe the point of a lot of this is just common sense. Let's address all of this from a common sense perspective. Would any of you want to believe in a God that required molestation of babies? I know everybody thinks that genital mutilation is horrible when the Muslims do it. She did it again. Oh, bitch. Oh, it didn't turn on. Thank you. It's dead. That's funny as hell. She's gonna have separation anxiety, something crazy.
Give me my sweater.
You need a sweater? It's humid as fuck. What are you talking about? Not even a little bit. Standing right in front of that. That's blowing on you. That's chilly.
Hold on, Bubba.
Chilly out. That's weird. Understand what you're seeing, if you're even allowed to see this. A video with 9 viewers and 11 shares, and one person's talking. Where are the other 8 people? There are 8 people watching this. You guys have nothing to say? What do you support Matitza, or are you opposed to it? I think there's 2 camps in this. There's not an in-between. You can't say, yeah, it's okay. Like there is, like again, I can only compare it to NAMBLA because that seems like it's the most accurate example. If somebody said to you, yeah, I'm a NAMBLA member, I donate a bunch of money to them, I vote for them, I make sure that they get whatever votes they get. I'm a powerful person, so I'm able to swing votes and shit. I lobby for them. I go to their fundraisers and all that shit, and you know that they do really great stuff. They have these huge fairs where they'll have a whole bunch of rides and shit, and it attracts a bunch of kids. You know, because they're hunting for the kids, and they you know, only a couple of them ever get picked out of each thing, so thousands of kids go through, and only a couple end up, you know, being, and they're in a good, it's a relationship. It's not even like they're getting, you know, just violated. This is it's a beautiful thing. It's a relationship. It's ordained, you know. Yeah, I support all that. I don't partake in it myself, but I support their right to do so. Does anybody think that's okay? Would anybody support that guy? Would anybody believe that guy doesn't partake? You know, all you Trump supporters, explain to me how you can support a pedophile and not be a pedophile.
Really stepped in poop.
Awesome. Awesome. Please, by any means, tell me anything I'm getting wrong. Tell me anything that doesn't make sense. I would sure love to hear it. Sure seems to be a lot of crybaby shit. Rain Man? Support what? Anyway, would you accept anybody that was that NAMBLA guy? Would you be friends with that person? Would you think, you know, he's a good guy. Yeah, it's a good organization. Again, you see how many children go to that thing to have a great time? Everything's paid for because it's all such wealthy donors and shit. They go there, they win a bunch of prizes and shit. And like I say, there's only a couple that are picked, and those that get picked get treated really well. They get treated like little princes. What's the problem with that? Well, thanks, Potato Head. I put 40 and I filled the tank. Huh? Anyway, like I say, like, seriously, I don't hear everybody chiming in on this. There's only 6 people here. 6 people and 12 likes. But I'd love to hear your take. Explain to me how somebody can be a good NAMBLA member. You know, and like I say, you're so distracted. There's so much distraction. Like, again, this Passover thing. How come I'm the only person I've seen or heard point out that Israel struck Lebanon 100 times in 10 minutes? Very ritualistic in those numbers and whatnot. On the very last day of Passover. Don't you think that's strange? At a time when it was like peace and everybody was like, they had agreed to a ceasefire. There was no sort of warning or any sort of hint that this was coming. Israel couldn't even blame it on a rogue missile that had been fired into Israeli airspace that the Iron Dome shot down. You have to ask yourself these questions, man. You have to see this shit. Why don't any of the other truthers tell this stuff, talk about this stuff? Why do they all seem to read from the same script? They all tell you to believe in Jesus. They all tell you you can't blame the whole cult because they have some cult member friends that are nice to them, to their faces. They all tell you that it's the satanic pedophilia. Satanic pedophilia. Because pedophilia is not bad enough. It's got satanic. The satanic pedophilia, and never mind that it's a lot of that Satan symbolism and whatnot sure does look similar to the friar symbolism, doesn't it? Oh well, best not think too highly on that one. Right? The satanic panic that happened in the 80s into the 90s. I mean, it's so crazy to me that when you compare the Franklin narrative with the Epstein narrative, and how, you know, once the narrative is up to the president, you know, everyone is being implicated, we suddenly go to war. You know, after a high-profile person involved dies mysteriously. And where's Gary Caradori's wife? Whatever happened to her? Seems strange that she wouldn't, especially as time went on, internets came around. She didn't, you know, or any of the relatives associated. Like, to think that the Caradoris, there was nobody like me related to them that talk about their uncle, how their uncle was killed, or, you know, some shit like that. And hey, we want to bring attention to this. How come it never happens? It literally never happens. Where are all the surviving family members from the TWA Flight 800? Eh? Where are all the survivors, even from the 9/11 shit? But where are all the survivors from San Bernardino? Where are all the survivors from the Pulse nightclub shooting? Remember that fucking piece of shit they showed us? It starts to feel like everything is manufactured. You know, you believe that certain things are, and again, this is where your arrogance comes into play, because you think, well, I can decipher, I can discern, you know, which thing is actually a real thing and which thing is a scripted narrative. But at this point, it seems like anything that is especially national is probably scripted. You know, TWA Flight 800, there should be, what is it, 273 passengers or some shit? Passengers and crew. The amount of family members associated with that 273 people, especially here, you know, 30 something years later, 1998, was it? 97, 98. You're telling me none of those people were related to someone even close to me? My uncle, my aunt, my mom, my dad, whatever, was killed in this fucking thing and nobody talks about it, blah, blah, blah. You know, if it was their parents that were killed, these kids aren't, they're younger than me. They're significantly younger than me. Cousins, you know, anything like that? Not one, huh? No one from the Pulse nightclub shooting, not one of the victims' family members, brothers, cousins, parents, mom, dad, you know, whatever, sibling, whatever, best friends. No one talks about it. When was the last time you heard someone talk about the Pulse nightclub shooting? And never mind that guy that got arrested in Santa Monica at the same time or the next day, or what, I don't remember what it exactly was, but he got arrested, and the Santa Monica police released a statement saying, hey, this guy said he was associated with this. He was supposed to be the distraction, but he got lost, yada, yada, yada. The FBI stepped in, told him not to run it, but they ran it anyway. And then, of course, the story disappeared. The Pulse nightclub shooter supposedly talked to one of my friends, and she was on the news talking about it, but looked fake to me. Hey, it definitely looked fake. But, you know, again, you're like the first person I've ever seen or heard say anything even close to something like that. Like, that's what's crazy. Where is the investigation? What about the borderline, what was it, the borderline bar shooting? Do you guys even remember that one? Where the guy supposedly went into it was the night, which one was it? It was the night before a Trump impeachment hearing, something. It was something that had to do with the border had just happened. It was when we were supposedly being invaded from the south. But there was something significant that happened, and then that night, this borderline or borderland bar shooting happened. And the interviewer, so they interview this kid who has a fucking Mickey Mouse hat on. And it's just like, dude, you're going to the bar to try to pick up chicks and shit. You're going to wear your Mickey Mouse. I just, strange cynicism on this. And he ends up laying out this narrative, and the whole time he's kind of looking up at somebody, whatever. And at no point does he mention that the shooter stopped, took out some smoke bombs, and threw the smoke bombs. He forgets to mention that part. And yet the narrative that we're shown supposedly shows the guy pull out 2 smoke bombs and throw one to the left and one to the right and then start shooting. Strange how Mickey Mouse guy forgot to mention it. But of course, all of that just disappears. What city or state for which one, man? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just pulling out, think about any of them. Any of them. Anything you can think of. The Nevada, the fucking Las Vegas shooting. The Route 51 shooting, all those people. Where are the fucking surviving family members that are like calling out the absolute utter bullshit that we were shown? Mindy, well, what the fuck is her name? Mindy Robinson. Mindy Robinson, this blonde broad that I'm surprised I don't see or hear about anymore. But she put out this video called Route 51, I believe. Route something. I think it's Route 51. R-O-U-T-E 51. And it's an extension of this website that exists that that has so all of the different phone calls that were made to 911, the videos that exist of it, and I don't know, there's one other thing, but they have a map, a map of Vegas out, and on the map are each individual icon. It's like a movie camera of a video, a picture of a phone for a 911 call, and then I forgot what the third one is. But it shows you how you can click on each one of those icons, and it'll give you the timestamp, and it'll play whatever the thing is. And it shows you how over this large area, all of these things are happening at once. There's multiple shooters, there's multiple... It's just a really fucked up thing, and it's all based in the evidence that is available if you look for it, but isn't talked about. I mean, when was the last time you heard about this is the anniversary of the Las Vegas shooting? Have you heard that yet? You know, everything goes away. You know, Charlie Kirk's going to cover up 9/11 from now on. Borderland bar shooting was in Texas or Nevada or something like that. It was in an appropriate place for the narrative. But the Route 51 thing is it's shocking, and she does a great job outside of her putting her stupid ass, Trump supporting Republican sort of spin on things, where there's a couple of different times where she like pauses. Our forefathers wouldn't blah, blah. Like, bitch, our forefathers wouldn't want to hear from your hot blonde ass, hot blonde with big tits. You wouldn't be allowed to talk, so shut the fuck up. You don't want to go back anywhere. If anywhere had gotten it right, we'd be still doing it that way. Nobody's gotten it right yet because nobody's done it right yet. But like I say, that Route 51, the fact that she made that movie is phenomenal to me. I'm always super impressed by what people are capable of doing. Just considering the limitations and shit that are put in place by everything. I've experienced it firsthand. I know how difficult it is to be a content creator, especially when you're speaking against the narrative. I have 5 viewers and 13 likes with 2,500 plus subscribers. If you can make that make sense outside of censorship, I'm all ears. It's crazy how it all works out. It's just crazy how it all works out. How come nobody's made that same Route 51 video about the Trump shooting? That's got to be one of the fakest false flags ever perpetrated on society. The one thing I have to say to anyone, whether you're a Trump supporter, denier, you believe he got shot, whatever, just one question. Where the fuck are all the cell phone videos? Cell phones and live feeds from that thing. People walk around with 2 cell phones all the time nowadays. Content creators love to go to things like that to create content. Especially Trump supporters. Shouldn't there have been hundreds, thousands of people holding their phones from every angle showing Trump? Where the fuck are all those comments? Make it make sense, peoples. That's all I want to know. Just answer that one question. I noticed it right away. I didn't even know Trump got shot. My buddy told me. And it was like an hour after it happened that I finally was able to we were busy doing something at the time too, surprisingly. And so when I finally looked it up, I figured it's YouTube. I'm going to have to sift through a whole bunch of, shitty, weird angles and shit. I hope I'll be able to find one good one. When instead, the only thing you can still to this day find are the official angles. Maybe a couple of different cell phones, some from way far away, not even looking, just what people were doing outside of the event. But it should be like a 360 or at least a 180 angle from 360, because there were all the people behind him that were filming. Like CSI used to tell us they could do in 2012 and shit. So many people are always posting online that in any given situation, if there's some sort of event and a crime takes place, they can basically reconstruct a 3D model because so many people are taking pictures or video at any given time. It's 2026. We can't do that anymore. It's all fake, man. It's all fake bullshit. And again, tell me about the event that took place that affected a whole shit ton of people, and to this day there are still people even talking about it. I mean, most of you can't tell me what day Oklahoma City took place. Shit, if you're less than 40, you probably don't even know about Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City was the largest domestic terrorist attack. No, it was the largest terrorist attack in the United States until 9/11, and to this day, it's still the largest domestic terrorist attack in the United States. And most of you don't even know what fucking day it took place. April 19th, 1995. You know, lots and lots of celebration of Hitler's birthday. They sure love to do that. 420, baby. Everybody runs around. 420, 420. You're celebrating Hitler's birthday. Pretty funny. But, like, where are all the people? Where is everyone? Where are all the family members? I get that there's not going to be the majority are not going to be, quote, conspiracy theorists. But the idea that there are none, that no one in their family, that was put through this horrific experience, no one in their family has any sort of reservations about what they were told happened and has questions or anything like that? Really? Seriously, about I mean, it's hard to even think about it because you don't talk. The San Bernardino shooting, where three white men in military fatigues morphed into an Arabic couple who dropped their baby off at their mother-in-law's. They were at the party. They went home, got armed, came back to the party. Like, I've done a complete breakdown on the San Bernardino thing, and it's as bullshit as anything you've ever heard. You just don't know it because you haven't looked. I highly encourage you to look up the official Wikipedia narrative on San Bernardino and tell me if that makes sense to you. The Handy Sookers. Do you guys remember that reporter that was killed on live TV? White girl down in like South Carolina or Florida or some shit. She was interviewing somebody and you can see the guy walk up and she walks up and supposedly shoots her. Shoots the other guy and then I think he shoots himself. I don't remember. But the camera goes back to like the main and she's like, okay, we're gonna go to a commercial break real quick. Yeah, that shit just disappeared. What's up, Matt? Glad to see you. I'm just about to bust. So it's good that you got here before I left. 4 people, 14 viewers. Always makes sense, doesn't it? The last I heard of that girl, so this was during COVID because it was COVID on the news, but I was still watching the news on a regular basis. So it had to be within the first 6 months of COVID. A guy who is supposedly the father of a handy sooker sued a small little nothing publication for publishing a "We Need to Question Handy Sook" book. Small fucking nothing publication. And ended up winning $100,000 in return. But the case was so weird because, again, the only time we heard about it was after everything had settled. They didn't talk. There was no news report about, hey, this trial is happening, or this, that, whatever. We heard about it after the fact, and so they showed that the dad that was suing, or that sued and won, they blurred his face, but they showed his website, and on his website his face was there, so you could see who it was. But he was saying that he he'd been run out of like 3 or 4 different neighborhoods, and you know, this was so hard on it. And it's like, wait a minute. I know if somebody moved into my neighborhood and I found out that they were involved in a tragedy, they wouldn't get run out of the like, that's not how things work. And especially when it comes to Handy Sook, most people don't know anything about. So how would anybody even know who you were when you moved into the neighborhood unless you were telling people? Right? Just a weird narrative. But he said that he had been run out of like 3 different neighborhoods, and so the judge found for him for $100,000. Initially, he sued the publisher and the guy, but halfway through the trial, the publisher, like, I guess he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I changed my mind and I'm sorry." And because of that, and then sided with the guy suing, so somehow that absolved him of the lawsuit. It was really stupid. But when they were talking about it, they were talking about this guy, and they were also talking about the father of the reporter that got shot, and how people just don't believe them, and you know, and it's like, yeah, but look at what we've been shown. Like,